victory! My name is Builder, and today I'm gonna be your worst nightmare guide through the game mechanics. Let's start with the basics. Follow me. You know what to press, don't you? The backpack behind your back contains all the necessary tools. It needs to be taken off the shoulder. Try to pull out the backpack now. A construction worker's tablet is attached to your chest. It contains many useful applications. Grab it now. Select the tab with the task list to check your current construction progress. Fantastic! My maker always said that everything needs a solid base. Let's start with foundations. Choose a shovel from the backpack and prepare the area for the foundations. Store available. On the left is a list of available categories according to the stages of construction. You can change the number of items you buy to 1, 10, or 100. Buy 100 formworks and reinforcement. Good job! All the items you've purchased are in the backpack. Now select the formwork by pressing the quick button on the controller. Each construction stage is presented through holograms to visualize the phase you're in. Move the formwork closer to the hologram. Insert the formwork held in hand into the appropriate hologram. You know the joke about how one person works and the rest just watch? You just became a part of it. Next up is reinforcement. Same principle as with formworks. Let's get to work. mixer in a bit. Yee-haw! Welcome back. You are probably wondering how come you had concrete in your wheelbarrow at the previous level. The game designer didn't want the stage to be too long. Let's find out how to make it. Choo-choo! You can create two types of mixes, mortar and concrete. Mortar is needed to join the blocks. Concrete, on the other hand, is used for foundations. Let's start by turning on the concrete mixer. You will lose $1 each second you leave the concrete mixer on. So, make it quick and effective. All the ingredients you need can be found around the concrete mixer. Above the concrete mixer, there are the ingredients you need to create mortar. Start with the sand. Take your shovel and put some in. Every building needs a proper concrete screed. Let's continue with what we prepared at the first stage. Get your shovel and dig the ground. the sand. You can do this in two ways. Either by the shovel or by the wheelbarrow. Go to the sand pile and pick some sand with your shovel. Then, place it on the floor. Nice! The second way is to pour sand from a wheelbarrow. Try putting some sand into the wheelbarrow. By pouring the sand over the concrete screen. Am I a joke to you? Good job! Now we have to buy some reinforcements. Every house you will build needs reinforcement to make concrete more durable. Buy 30 grid reinforcements. Now, place them on the foil. Now it's time for the concrete. You already have it waiting in the wheelbarrow. Cheating is fun sometimes, huh? Pour it over. If we were real friends, I would have really concrete advice for you. Great work! Now, every building needs an insulation. Fun fact, you should do it both in the walls and in the foundations. First, buy 30 insulations in the shop. Now place the insulation over. Perfect! We're nearly done. Use a wheelbarrow and pour out the final concrete layer. That's it. Now you're done with the concrete screen loop. It'll get a lot better and rewarding from now on. Simulators must reflect reality, but we have prepared a lot of interesting solutions for you that will speed up your work considerably. See you later, excavator. Yee-haw! After a while, crocodile, it's time for the load-bearing walls. Quickly! To the training room. I'll talk you through it on the way. There are certain types of walls. In our game, there are 3 types of walls. Load-bearing walls, plasterboard, and concrete partition walls. Trust me, it's the most rewarding part of the construction. You'll see the effects immediately. You need to get hollow blocks from the shop, but shop. Great! It's time to place it in the hologram. Fabulous! Part of the walls is to set the ceiling when you reach the right height. Ceiling holograms will automatically appear when you fill in the blocks on the last layer. And this is the moment when you have to place the ceiling blocks. Buy 20 ceiling blocks from the shop. Some would say sky is the limit, but for us, it's ceiling blocks on each level. Enough dad jokes. Put the ceiling blocks in the holograms. Extraordinary! After finishing the work, destroy the scaffold using a hammer. Hit the scaffold with the hammer to make it collapse. Voila! And it's cleaned up. The next step will be doors and windows. See you later! Yee-haw! Welcome back! Eager to learn more? Today, you will learn how to insert doors and windows. It's pretty cool and easy. Follow me! Every building needs a door to enter and windows to bring light into the house. Our game is no different. Remember from the previous stage when you inserted the lintels? You don't have to do it this time, but you need to know that they are the reason we can put in doors and windows. Let's start with doors. Buy one front door. Great! To mount the doors, we use a level. To start the assembly process, pull out an object that resembles a door from the backpack. In front of the level, a hologram of the door frame will appear, which you need to fit into the recess. The hologram will turn green when the frame is properly adjusted. To confirm, press the trigger. After pressing the trigger, a tablet will appear in your hand, on which you will be able to choose the appropriate door model. Good job! Now you have to screw in the hinges. Pull out the screwdriver from the backpack and install the necessary screws. Screws that need to be screwed in. Light up on immersing using a screwdriver. Now it's time for wedges. Place your hand in the highlighted area and press the trigger to mount the wedge. Now you know how to insert doors. You can open and close them by grabbing and pulling the handle. Don't worry about the phone. We'll talk about it later on. Amazing! Let's move on to the windows. There are two types of windows. Any window under 2 meters on the planner is a standard home window. Likewise, any window over 2 meters is already a patio window. You dictate the the terms on the planner and choose what size windows you want to insert. For the purposes of this tutorial, you will insert a single window. Buy one window from the shop. Nicely done! Now, try inserting them just like a door. Same principle, same fun. If you're happy and you know it, let's just play clap clap. Now it's time to put in all the screws you need. The next step is to insert the wedges. Mount them by inserting any hand into the hologram and pressing the trigger. Support wedges are used to support and stabilize the window in the window opening. Whoa! Did you see how the foam filled itself after the wedges were inserted? We thought that doing it manually would be boring, so we automated it. Remember that every window requires a sill or a threshold. Insert any hand into the hologram of the windowsill and press the trigger. Then, a tablet will appear in your hand on which you can choose the appropriate model. The wheels on the bill go round and round. Great! Look at the patio window next to you. You can see the difference. That's everything for doors and windows. Remember, you decide how you want your house to look. See you in the next stage. Yee-haw! My friend! Partition walls are my hobby. My neighbors also love to hear the drill. Ask them. They'll tell you all about it. Let's go to the training room. Partitions separate rooms from each other and should therefore have the best possible sound insulation properties. Let's start with plasterboard walls. Of course, you have to mark them on the planner first, but for the purposes of the tutorial on the partition walls themselves, we have already determined them. You're welcome! To build a wall, you need floor, ceiling, and wall profiles. Buy 100 profiles in the shop. Good job! Now place them in the holograms and screw them in with a drill. Remember that the profiles are screwed into the ceiling and floor. Hey! 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 I'm getting rusty. plasterboard on the other side of the wall, you must first lay insulation between them. Take them out of the backpack and place them in the appropriate spot. Lovely! Attach one more plasterboard on the other side. This is how partition walls are installed. The profiles must be fixed to the floor and ceiling, and the plasterboards to the profiles. There is also a second type of partition wall, concrete partition wall. Assembly is very different. First, you need to lay a damp-proof course. 520 insulation. Now place it on the ground. Good job! Remember what you've done with bearing walls? You need some mortar. You'll find it in a wheelbarrow. Once the mortar has been collected on the trowel, it remains until you have exhausted the stock in the wheelbarrow. Pretty cool, right? It took our game designers way too long to figure out this solution. Place mortar. Mamma mia! Everything's ready for concrete blocks. Don't forget the lintel over the door. Buy 100 concrete blocks and one lintel. You won't need as much, but you never know when inflation will get to the DIY markets. Build a concrete partition wall. What is the lightest kind of building that you can construct? A lighthouse! Superb work! One more fun thing is that you can destroy them. But first, you have to mark with an eraser which wall you want to destroy on the planner. This time, I'll do it for you automatically. Got your back, Jack. If you are not happy with the partition walls, take a sledgehammer in your hands and destroy them. You can build a house as big as the plot of land will allow you to. But to get to the floor of your house, you need stairs. In some cases, a simple teleport is enough. But why take the easy way out? This stage will be simple but maximally rewarding. Buy one staircase in the shop. Great! Now take them out of the backpack and bring the hologram of the stairs closer to the spot marked on the plan. Now, just like with the doors and windows, you can change the appearance of the stairs using the tablet. Amazing! The more I'm looking at them, I think they don't fit. As I am not annoying at all, I will pretend to be your favorite customer who does not know what he likes. You need to change them. Psst. This also applies to game and software development. Tear them down with your sledgehammer. Nice! Now buy one more stairs in the shop. You're quick. Place the staircase again. See how simple and satisfying it is? In this way, you are able to test different solutions immediately without having to monotonously build up the entire structure. We want you to have fun after all. Thank you, and see you later. Yee-haw! Hey, hey, hey! The next stage is surely gonna raise the roof. Follow me! It's not rocket science that every building needs a roof. First, you need to buy a proper blueprint in the shop. Open the store and buy a hip roof blueprint. Excellent! When you choose it and look at the top of the building, you will notice a hologram. Use the joystick on the controller to adjust the roof angle. Confirm it when you're done. Great! All you need now are roof beams. Buy some roof beams from the store. Nice! Now your task will be to complete all the necessary roof beams and the holograms. Remember that you can build scaffolding when working at heights. The Health and Safety Department is crossing their fingers. Whoa! That was intense! Mineral wool, insulation, and plasterboard will be completed automatically so as not to create another foam clicker. We highly respect your time. Just kidding. More bearing walls. Back to the subject. You have already prepared the roof for the tiles. Buy a lot of roof tiles. Superb! Put tiles on the roof. sloping roofs, gutters are installed to carry the water to the downpipes. This significantly reduces the wetting of house walls during rain and snowmelt. But this is already part of the finishing work. See you in the next stage. Yee-haw! Welcome back! I don't think you expected us to meet again, but here I am, and believe me, we are gonna have a great time together. Follow me to the training room. Building a home is time-consuming but rewarding. Together with the developers, we decided that we couldn't make everything longer. That's how I came up with a brilliant home finishing solution. We start by finishing the building from the outside. See that orange glow surrounding the entire building? That's the building insulation that was generated against the walls you planned. Buy 200 insulation boards. Great! Now insulate the wall by filling in the missing areas with insulation boards. Contextual menu that is located in the tablet. It is used to select the patterns and colors of your walls, floors, paintings, or even the cobblestones in front of your house. This option is already available on your tablet. Turn it on. Now, on the right side, you select the pattern, and on the left side, the color, using the left and right joystick or trackpad. Don't worry if you can't move while selecting the color. It's just a limitation of virtual reality. Every time you change the color, the game will save the last 5 modifications so you can have easy access to the recently used colors. Depending on the current stage of construction, the contextual menu will contain what you need. This stage of construction is time-consuming. To save some time, we've added the option Construction Acceleration to the tablet. Individual options in Free Mode are locked. To unlock them gradually, you need to help me with the construction by going through the campaign. For the tutorial, I've unlocked the option for automatic completion of the facade for you. Take the tablet in your hand and try to use it now. Following the procedure? I bet you didn't. It's starting to look like a real home. Let's go inside. Pull out the plastering machine from the backpack. Got a gun in your hands in the simulator? Shoot it! This might be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Now for the serious part. Spread the plaster over the interior walls of the building and the ceiling. Do it thoroughly. Remember the corners of the walls and the wall pieces by the door. Fantastic! Don't you think the walls look like plaster is running down them? That's exactly what it is! Pull out the plastering patch from the backpack, then flatten the walls and ceiling to prepare them for painting. Don't forget that the wall is also in the door recess. And remember that to comfortably use this tool, grab it with both hands. Don't tell anyone, but I unlocked another option for you to accelerate construction. Manually, or use the we are ready for an interior designer visit. But wait, you're the one! We reached the finishing stage, which is not mandatory, but it is a lot of fun. The game is mostly about building, but what would buildings be if they didn't have floors, painted walls, exterior finishes, and furniture? Aha! We have it all! You can put wallpaper, tile, or paint on the walls. If you choose tiles or wallpaper, then you will need to use the wall stencil, which is also found in your backpack. Pull out the paint roller from the backpack. Remember, by pressing the trigger, you can extend or shorten the roller. Roll the roller across the walls and ceiling. Remember that in the contextual menu, you have a wide choice of textures and colors. I've already unlocked the acceleration of wall finishing for you. You can use it whenever you want. Isn't that what playing the game is all about? Fun, fun, and more fun. I believe the end result of your houses will be electrifying. Welcome to the tutorial that everyone was waiting for. Here it is. Follow me. I modified a bit the building you left out of the previous tutorial. I don't want to brag that it's prettier now, but how can you not appreciate such artistic genius? Remember the Build 24 store? It's no longer available because you no longer need anything from it at this stage of construction. Don't worry. The items you had in your inventory have been sold without any loss, as you won't need them anymore. Let's now move directly to the floors. Pull out the floor sampler from the backpack. First, place the package on the ground. And then, just like with the walls, you can choose materials using the tablet. Nice! Grab the first object that appears on the box, and then place it on the floor to lay it down. If you want to change the laid floor, there's a way to do it. At any time, you can pull out a hammer from the backpack and hit the floor to remove it, and lay it again with a different pattern. Great! It looks so beautiful and clean. I could eat off that floor. And now, something everyone wanted, but no one expected, like finding money in an old jacket. From now on, you can buy furniture and play not only as an architect, but also as an interior designer. Welcome to Glosspore. This is where you can buy furniture, accessories, paintings, and other. But who, if not you, can handle two very complicated degrees, where to get in, you only have to beat 100 other applicants for one place at the university. And now, let's have some fun. Buy a bathtub in the default color. Good job! Now buy 2 items from the kitchen furniture set, also in the default color. Good! Now buy a 16 by 9 photo frame. Amazing! That's all we need now. We can close up store. Every interior element you buy can be scaled to size. Select the bathtub and use the joystick or trackpad in your free hand on the vertical axis to shrink or enlarge it, and then place it in your home. If you bring an object close enough to a wall or another piece of furniture, the game will show you dimension lines that determine the distance from them. If you're happy and you know it, let's just play clap clap. Superb! Now let's put some kitchen furniture in your home. You can rotate each element by using the same joystick or trackpad on the controller, but on the horizontal axis. Looks marvelous! Hang a picture frame on the wall, and you'll see what I mean. Great! Now touch the photo frame with your hand, and then go back to the contextual tab on the tablet to change the picture. You can choose any image from the library prepared by our graphic designers. Choose whichever you like. Looks absolutely gorgeous. You can change the picture on the wall at any time by touching it again with your hand and changing the image on the tablet. And after uploading your own images, just open and close the image menu, and the list will refresh. The last task for today will be to sell the put-up kitchen furniture. Take the scanner out of your backpack. Point the scanner laser at the item in question, so that you can sell it using the scanner. You can also duplicate the item you're looking at, but we're focusing on quick selling. Great job! touches around the house. If you choose the right type of paving, you can achieve a really nice effect. Let us start from the beginning. You can dig the path in the place you mark on the planner. But this time, I marked it for you. Have you ever had a more talkative sidekick? Take your shovel and dig the highlighted area. Fantastic! Now we have the area prepared for the path. The next step is to pour the sand into the holes you have dug. You can use a shovel or wheelbarrow for this, just like with the foundations. Complete the path with sand. Wanna hear it? Superb! The final element with paths is choosing the right paving stones. To do this, you need to open the store, choose Paths category, and buy 100 cobblestones. Good job! Now that you have your cobblestone, you can take it out of your backpack. At this stage, you can also change the pattern of the cobblestone you're laying with the tablet. Choose a pattern and complete the path. Nice! At any time, you can go back to the paths and replace them by purchasing the cobblestone. That's all for now. See you later. Yee-haw! Welcome to the source of our game. We call it Planner because it helps you design any house you want, which then you build. Thanks to it, you'll be able to create the houses of your dreams. How cool is that? I will guide you through the various options available. We will plan the house we have prepared to teach you how to do it. You have 4 tools to use: cursor, eraser, and add or remove floor. Cursor is set by default. The stylus, with which you can draw on the plan, is located above the tablet. You can also use it to press buttons on the tablet. That's really impressive. Good job. Let's start with the load-bearing walls. Select them from the elements. You can create walls in a line or on the plan as a rectangle by holding down the trigger. Draw the load-bearing walls. Job. Now let's draw the plasterboard partition walls. We work on a small plot of land, so we cannot overdo. Let's get to work. Amazing! I think we still need a piece of concrete partition wall. Draw a piece of concrete partition wall. Great! What else might we need? Windows! After all, everyone likes to peep at their neighbors. The windows are of different sizes. Increase or decrease them as desired. The largest windows are terrace windows. Insert 4 windows. Good job. To get into rooms, we need doors. Insert 2 interior doors. You can freely rotate them and change the direction in which they open. Now we need to add an external door to get inside. What type of construction are dogs good at? Roofing! You can check at any time whether a building meets the minimum criteria. Now let's put the stairs in. You are free to rotate them, but for the purposes of the tutorial, place them in the indicated position. Nice! I think we should add a floor. Add a floor by clicking on the option available next to the eraser. Great! Now you can move freely between levels. Everything you did on the ground floor, you can do on the first floor, except for swimming pools and paths. But that's common sense, right? The load-bearing walls of the building go from level to level as the base of the building, and you can't move them after adding a floor. Now, we could also put in a swimming pool and paths. Let's go to the ground floor. A swimming pool is simply a rectangle for which you need enough space to designate it. Draw a swimming pool next to your house. Good job. I think we might need some path to the swimming pool, don't you think? Let's choose a path. Increase it a little and draw it to the end of the pool. After you mark out the paths, you put paving stones in their place. Great! Let's check that we have everything. Amazing! Let's save this project. The project will be saved with a current date in the name.